my name is Jennifer. Welcome to Love and Faith channel. Thank you so much for joining me again. Thank you for liking, for sharing, for subscribing. Thank you so much. God bless you for all your support and love. Today I'm going to share with you how I began my relationship with God, and I'm going to rewind a bit. I had newly finished with my master's degree and I had gotten a nice job in my field. I was going to be a marketing assistant in a rail infrastructure company. I was super excited. I got the job, so I started working there. About a month to 2 months, they called me to the office. Yeah, Jenny, you did this, that. I'm like, to be honest, at the moment they began to speak, I literally just blanked out. I didn't hear a word. It's like everything went zoom. Anyways, that part ended, and yeah. So some time went by. I eventually got a new job, and I worked there for some time as well. I think about for a year. And I remember quite vividly on 30th of September, which was a Friday, this woman calls me to the office and tells me, oh, I'm doing this, that, so she's gonna have to let me go, and that my last working day will be the end of October, the last working day of October. And wow, I got home that night. I cried my eyes out. I was so sad. I was so frustrated. I was so ashamed. I'm like, this cannot be happening to me again. And not only was this job thing going on as well, my older brother had newly gotten married, so he had to also move to a new place. So I had to find a new place as well. And thirdly, also, I was not going to be moving out by myself. I had a younger brother at that time with me, so we're going to move in together to a new place. So bear in mind that without a job at that time, I wouldn't be able to pay for the rent. Bear in mind that I have a lovely parent, a lovely family that were more than willing to support me at any given time. But the thing for me at that moment in time was, I can't go through life in fear, thinking that whatever I do was not gonna be fully successful. I couldn't, and there was no amount of money that could pay for that. And I knew in my heart that I needed to sort this element or this sort of thing in my life once and for all. So the only thing that I knew at that time, I knew God. I was born again. I went to church, but I didn't have a relationship with God. And what I mean by relationship is I didn't spend time with him. So I don't spend time with him. So I didn't know him like you would know your friend. So at that moment in time, one thing I did know was that God loved me and he wanted the best for me. And all I knew how to do at that time was to pray. I prayed and I prayed. I prayed till I began to hear the Holy Spirit's voice clear. At that time, I didn't even know that he was called Holy Spirit. I used to say, oh, something told me. But now I know that it was the Holy Spirit. So, like I said before, I'm going to remind you exactly again what I was going through. I was being made redundant, however we want to call it. I was supposed to be moving out of the house because my brother had also gotten married, so he was going to move to a new place as well, so I was moving as well. We had already informed the landlord that this particular month we're going to leave, so it was already done. We had people coming to the house to view the house. So thirdly, my younger brother was with me, and there is no way I can see to it that he's going to be staying with a married couple. They're newly married, they need to have their space, their privacy, so he was definitely going to be coming with me. And for the shame that comes with it, to me personally, is undescribable. So having all these 4 things in mind, I began to pray. And all of a sudden I began to hear God's voice in regards to finding a new place now. There was 2 weeks before we had to leave. 1 week before that, I used that whole week to pray and fast. I prayed anytime I could. I prayed. I put my laptop to the side. I just prayed. So 1 week, after the prayer and fasting for that week, I had 1 more week till I should find a new place. Okay, So I remember that the Holy Spirit gave me a page that I need to go search on who to speak to as well. So I went on that journey following the instructions of God. I remember that I found this particular place which I thought was really nice, and I met with the owner of the house. He showed me the place. The place was so tiny. Oh my gosh, I was like, God, I promised myself I never want a small room like this. But funny enough, I got there and the landlord was like, oh, we have another room, but this is a couple's room, and the people will be moving exactly on the day that I would be moving out from my old place. So, but I never had the chance to look at this new place, but the landlord told me, oh, it was really pretty. Even when he and the wife moved in newly, that was the first place they had. It's a beautiful room. It has everything you need in there. So I was really excited about that room. Now, one thing that the landlord mentioned at that time was that this was the price for the deposit, and I didn't have that money. But before I made my way there, the Holy Spirit had prompted me to take a certain amount with me. So when the landlord said, oh, this and that, I was really quiet at that time. So I just looked at him and smiled and was like, okay, he owns a restaurant which was not too far away. So we went there and he started giving me a list of how much I have to pay, and he just went on and on about the money matters, this matters, and he was like, okay, now I'm gonna need this amount. And all of a sudden I just told him that, oh, this is the only amount that I have. And he said, oh, okay, no problem, let me just take it. And you know what he said to me? He said, I'm using black magic. But what he doesn't know is that I had the Holy Spirit with me. This man took the money, gave me the key straight away. Eventually, me finding a new place had been resolved, and I was super excited. It was big enough to contain 2 people, so I was really excited. So now, bear in mind that this part has now automatically been resolved. Now, when it comes to my workplace, this woman was like, your last working day will be the 31st of October. And that was it. So bear in mind that this woman had traveled as well. So 31st October came, my brother was like, Jenny, it's fine, just go, da 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 da. I went, the one wasn't there anyway, so I went there and no one said anything to me. So I just kept going. I think a month later, the manager had traveled, she came back, I was still working there, and they continued to pay me for 1 whole year, and I was still working there. The woman came back from her holidays, told me that she didn't say anything. I worked there for a whole year, guys, and wow, it's like the Holy Spirit did something to change this woman's mind. I don't know what happened, but all I know that it was a miracle for me at that time, and I was so excited. And bear in mind that when it was time for me to leave that job, God sent someone literally to come there and tell me, Jenny, at this time, you're going to be leaving that job. So I knew that, and I knew that that word was for me. I knew it. I was convicted in my spirit, so I knew it. So because I knew the time, 3 months before that, I started to take lots of holidays, looking for new jobs, sorting myself out, and lo and behold, when that time came, I really had to leave. So automatically, not only was my house thing resolved, and I had a place that was big enough to contain me and my brother, my younger brother at that time, not only that, I was also able to pay for my own rent. And fourthly, that shame that comes with it, everything faded away. So from that moment in time, I knew in my heart that I've conquered that element in my life with God, because I had God's help. And today, if you're watching me, I want to encourage you that no matter where you find yourself, we serve a miracle working God. He will never leave you nor forsake you. This is like one of my favorite verses. He said he will never leave you nor forsake you. He doesn't say in some circumstances I'll leave you, or in certain circumstances I'll be there for you. At all times, he's your standby, just like I explained in the other video, that the Holy Spirit is also a standby. He's always with you. He knows how you feel. He understands you more than anyone could ever understand you. He knows what's going on in your mind, and he's always more than ready to help you, to support you, to show you exactly what to do, even if you don't know what to do. And from that day onwards, guys, I began my relationship with God, because during that time I made a promise to God. I'm like, God, if you take me out of this situation, I promise to serve you with my life. Because I saw myself like, okay, I'm a child of God. Why should I be going through certain things that someone who doesn't know God will be going through? No, I refuse to be that sort of person. because I have God in my life. That means certain things should be forbidden, certain things I shouldn't be tolerated, certain things God has conquered everything for me. So this is the mindset that I carry now, and trust me, I've been working for about 5 years now since then, and this has never happened to me again. Glory be to God. And also in every area of my life, I just know how to conquer it through God's word. Because remember that at that time I didn't know God as much as I know him now. Now I know, and I use his words to conquer every situation at every stage of my life, and I'll be talking to you more about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I believe that you've been inspired, and I believe that no matter what you're going through, I know that you now know that we serve a God that is bigger than every situation, and I know that you got this, and I know that everything will be fine. God bless you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.